Good morning. Sawadee Ton Chow. Sabay diไหมครับ Sabay di tuk kon. Everybody out there, hey, what's happening? All three of you. Wow, there's 3 people right now. Well, I guess we're gonna wait a few minutes until some people come in, but thank you very much for joining me, all 6 of you now. Thank you, appreciate it. And what's today? Oh, today is a Wednesday, and I'll tell you, I have another coffee, like a regular old cup of coffee for me. I don't even remember what it is. It's got Panamanian in it and all kinds of things. But here it is right here. That's it. I poured all over myself. It's very light, very good. Anyway, no espresso for me today. And you know, today is 2-for-1 coffee day here at Pacamara. So, you know, yeah, I mean, listen, we're going to talk about this today, about freedom of speech. It's funny because I just saw an article from Julia Louis-Dreyfus, who was on Seinfeld, and she seemed to think that when comedians say, hey, this whole woke movement is killing comedy, she said it's BS. And what's funny is that Jerry Seinfeld, who is a comedian first and foremost, before he was ever an actor, has said it's killing, woke is killing comedy. So they're at opposite ends of the spectrum there. And if you know anything about her, you know she's pretty far left. Although I have been seeing the things from her, the little the advertisement saying you've got to vote, you've got to vote. Okay, good for you. I know I have to vote. And yeah, everybody, all Americans, you should be voting. If not for any other reason than to put your one vote in for who you want. And I don't care who you want. It's up to you. They try to cancel all comedians, and what else can you expect from a PM that takes unlawful actions to break a trucker strike? Yeah, I mean, I'm not even going to get into that. I don't know how much longer he's going to be in office. We're talking about Trudeau. But let me read something. Well, hang on a second. Before I get started, I got some notes to go over real quick. Like, the dollar is at 33.94. I really don't like that. It's got to be like 34.5, 35 at minimum. We'll see what happens with that. Air quality is 53, which is not very good. The temperature is 83, high of 92, low of 77, and the feel-like temperature right now is 86 degrees. It is a little cooler, you know, than usual, but it's still hot, man. I mean, it's always hot here. I mean, I was out, where was I? Oh, yesterday when I was walking to the coffee shop, I was walking in the shade because it was just too hot. Well, they may be cutting some rates here in Thailand too. So we'll see what happens. I mean, you know, yes, I expect it to get lower, but I would expect things to reverse. And I don't know how they do it here, to be honest. Hey, thank you very much, man. I appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. I do have some videos going to go up, but I've just been taking my time editing them. I've got 2 that are just about done, and I've got 1 that I just shot. It's of the girl making my coffee right now. It's just a pour over coffee. But yesterday, or a couple days ago, I had the AeroPress, which I've never used because usually I don't drink a cup of coffee. I have an espresso, maybe I have a cappuccino or a latte or something like that, but usually it's an espresso. Like at home, I only have espressos. That's it. That's the only thing. Well, I can make an Americano, but I just make an espresso most of the time. So, anyway, like I was saying, yesterday I was walking, and I was like, man, it's hot. So I walked in the shade, and it was still hot, but it wasn't as hot. Okay, humidity, 83%, and the chance of rain from now until next Friday is between 40 and 70%. So it is going to rain, and usually what I've noticed through many, many years is that the rain comes in the afternoon, and then it subsides, it doesn't rain, maybe it'll rain a little bit at night, and that's it. Once in a great while it will rain in the morning, but not all that much. So that's that. The weather is okay. That's what I'd say. And, you know, I'm not running around like I used to, going out for, 6, 7, 8 hours at a time. Although I did I have 2 cameras I pulled out this morning, and I'm trying to get them all set up. And so I've got that going on. But anyway, let me just, before I get into this subject too much about freedom of speech, it's pretty funny here. We got this girl from India. She was so scared that her college, her university would know that she went to Thailand, that she tore out 4 pages of her passport. And of course she got caught. And now she's being charged with, what is it called? She's been booked. Book of Dano under Section 12 of the Passports Act and Section 318, cheating and dishonesty of the Bharatiya Nya Sanhita. So whatever that is. But I just thought that was funny. This Indian girl, she gets popped, and the reason she gets popped is because she's worried about being caught for going to Thailand. And actually what she did was she feigned illness, and then she went to Thailand. And just a quick note, do Americans actually move abroad because of politics? The vast majority of Americans do not go abroad because of politics. Now, what I say, it's kind of like women. I didn't come over here for women, and I didn't leave the United States because of politics. However, I am staying here, at least partially because of a woman. And with politics, now that I see how it is back home, oh my God, it's like, I'm glad I'm here. So you could say that I'm kind of staying here because of the American politics, what's going on. That's not really true. I mean, maybe to some extent, I don't have to deal with that BS. But it's more, yeah, I mean, it's more everything else, and the politics just plays a very small part in my staying here. I mean, I stay here for the cost of living, of course. I think most people enjoy the cost of living here. But it isn't that much cheaper anymore. I mean, yeah, okay, some things for sure. But some things are not cheaper here, as I've said for quite some time. Some things are cheap here. Some things are more expensive than they are in the U.S. I mean, if I go to get a computer part, or if I go up to get external hard drive, that external hard drive is going to cost, $140. I think it's 2 terabytes. $140. Now, if I bought it online or I bought it from the U.S., I mean, I'm gonna pay as much. Maybe I'll get a little bit. Maybe I'll get a little bit of a better deal. Well, I'm not cheap. I don't think, honestly, I don't think I'm cheap. What I do think is that I value my money and I want a good value for my dollar, which to me, that's everything. And good morning, Jim. Good morning, everybody. Sawadee, Don Chow. I just value a good deal. You know, I mean, if you told me I could have a Porsche for $25,000 and I'm going to get a VW Bug for $22,000, what do you think I'm going to buy? Well, I buy the Porsche, or Ferrari, we'll say. I buy the Ferrari because it's a better value. But I mean, obviously it's not like that, but that's what I generally look for. I try not to buy any of the Chinese junk, and I mean the real crap that's sold where you get something for 50 baht and it's, you know, made in China. I try not to buy that kind of stuff because I know it's not going to last, so it's not a great value. That's the whole thing. If it's not going to last, then how do you call that a value? Now, I'll tell you what was a good value is that coffee I had yesterday. It was only like 20 baht, 25 baht. You can't get a better deal than that, and that's the cheapest I've seen it in a long time. There's a guy at, what's the name of the park? Is it Sun? I'm trying to think here. Is that what it is? Yeah, I think it's Sun Brook. There's a guy over there that sells just traditional Thai coffee for 15 baht. And it's pretty good, but you know, it's sweet, and anyway, I don't want to have it all the time. Let's see here. The world's most expensive city in the world, according to Mercer's cost of living survey, I'm just gonna get it out there, is Hong Kong, followed closely by Singapore. And many of the cities in Switzerland follow, with Zurich, Geneva, Basel, and Bern taking 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th place respectively. New York was the highest ranking U.S. city, coming in 7th. London jumped up to 8th. Nassau, Bahamas was 9th. And L.A. was 10th. I've been to the Bahamas. Obviously, I mean, I don't remember what the cost of living was there, and I was a kid when I went. I didn't remember it being all that expensive, but then what do I know? You know, I was a kid. I wasn't paying for anything, so anyway. Right now, there are a lot of floods going on here. Many floods going on. 22 people dead, including a Russian couple. Thousands and thousands, 30,000 households have been affected in 13 provinces over the past 11 days. And so it's getting nasty out there. And like I've said, you know, my wife is down south, and I mean, I know it's like, well, it just depends on where you are, but I just hope she's not anywhere near the flooding, so that she's going to have to go through the hassle of driving through it, and it's just not safe. It's not safe when it's this kind of flooding, like they're talking about, this kind of rain down in the south. You're better off not on the road. All right, so what is this here? What did I miss here? Did I miss something? What is this? Oh, wait a minute. Let's see. I had something all set up here. Oh my God. I don't even want to talk about this. 3 die in family toilet. The danger of mixing sulfuric acid and caustic soda to clean a clogged pipe. 3 people died in a small toilet at a family home in Chonburi. The deadly fumes known as sewer gas apparently killed these 3 people. There was only one hole for ventilation. As the door opened inwards, anyone trying to help the person inside must close the door, trapping the air inside. And I can tell you that we are kind of ready to move, and we haven't really, I haven't thought about it for a long time. I mean, even though we're looking for a place, I'm kind of like, yeah, whatever. We find a place, okay, but at this point, the house is getting older and older, and it's not really falling into ill repair or anything like that, but I can tell you that in the bathroom, our bathroom, there's a drain. And once in a while, you can smell, you're not smelling crap. You're smelling the gas that is produced. Every once in a while, it'll come out, and I'm like, whoa, that doesn't smell good. And my wife was saying the other day, we got to get out of here, So I do think we're going to get out of here, within the next couple of months. When we do, we do. But sooner than later would be nice. Yeah, Chinese tools. Hi, Scott. Couldn't find that coffee shop on Google Maps, but as you said, a tourist probably won't be in that area. Well, I don't think I put the address up there. I don't remember. What was it? If you tell me the name of it, maybe I can find it for you, because I have to go back and look, and I can't do that right now. Let's see here. Alpharetta Jim, what's happening? What is happening? There's a deficit of water traps that keeps gas from venting into. There you go. SP Coffee, I think is what it was. Now, I see it right here. Let me see if this is it. Let's see here. SP Coffee by blah. Yeah, I do believe that this is it. It's kind of hard to tell. Let me see if they have an address on here. Yeah, this is it. So let me show it to you. There you go, right there. It is a Facebook page, and I don't believe it's been used for quite some time, but that is where it is. It does have the address on there, so I believe you can copy and paste that, you'll be able to find it. Great, inexpensive coffee. Good morning, everyone. Even you, Mr. Singh. No, I don't miss you. Sorry. Why would I miss you? I generally don't miss men. Especially men I don't know. But nice try. Okay, so let me just finish up here. All right, we talked about the flooding. Well, that's okay. Doesn't matter. Whenever it was, it was. Now, Thai prosecutors say they will charge a former national police chief over a fatal hit-and-run incident involving the heir of the country's Red Bull business empire. Ex-police chief, Police General Samyat Pumpanmung, and former Deputy Attorney General Nate Nasuk supposedly will be charged in this case. I don't know for what. Oh, they conspired to alter the speed at which the Ferrari was going. They tried to alter the speed so that it didn't look like he was going too fast. This whole case just stinks. Really. Now, this guy, what's his name? What are you? Chalum Vidya. That's the father. What are you? Vidya. He is out of the country, and he's only got one charge left against him. A charge of causing a death through reckless driving, which will expire after 2027. So he has 3 more years, a little more than 3 years left. And then he could just come back and walk around, do whatever he wants. Unbelievable. And, well, I'll say this. Thailand generally, everything is not as corrupt as you might think it is. However, there's a pretty good percentage that, depending on what the charge is, what the incident is, what the situation is, there are ways out of it. They view things quite a bit differently as they do in the West. It's like, we don't want to hurt this person, and oh, he did this wrong, so what can we do to get him out of it and to make the other party happy? That's how they think about it. Which, to me, is not right, but that is how they think about things. Yeah, 3 die in family toilet. That was on the 15th of August. Don't know why I just pulled that up now, but... also, an oil spill has hit Bang Saray Beach, disrupting tourism and recreation. Around 5 p.m. on August 25th, tourists saw a large amount of oil blobs spread out on the white sands, and the unsightly mess deterred tourists from entering the water. Okay, so lots of oil there, and I don't know who's responsible for this, but let's see here. It doesn't even say. It doesn't say who's responsible. So, of course somebody else is going to get off. Somebody's going to get off without even a warning. It says, officials suspect the oil may have been discharged from a large vessel at sea, leading to this environmental disaster. Well, that tells me everything. Investigations are ongoing, good, to identify the responsible party, who will be held accountable under the law. Yes, it will. Sure it will. In response, the Bang Saray Sub-District Municipality has alerted relevant agencies, including the Royal Thai Navy, Marine Department, and Department of Marine and Coastal Resources. These organizations are preparing to launch cleanup operations to restore the natural beauty of Bang Saray Beach as quickly as possible. Okay. I mean, it's not that great of a beach, to be completely honest, but you don't need to have oil. That's the thing. Oil, it ruins a lot of things. And, we've seen a lot of oil spills around the world, and they're never good. Let's see here, one more thing. Well, I'm not going to talk about that. Not going to talk about that. However, getting back to this Rob Schneider, freedom of speech, blah, blah, blah. Apparently, Schneider was talking about Justin Trudeau and COVID-19 and said the pandemic was actually a scamdemic. think he's allowed to say that. He then moved to transphobia, saying that back in my day, we liked our women without penises. What's the problem? And told an anecdote about how he told his son, who's bad at sports, to say he is a girl to get a better chance. I mean, what are you going to do? You're really going to go after the guy? They did. They went after the guy for this stuff, for saying these things. Unbelievable. And of course, the sponsor of this event said, we do not condone, accept, endorse, or share Mr. Schneider's positions as is expressed during his comedy set, and acknowledged that in this instance, the performance did not meet the expectations of our audience and our team. Okay, so what? When people come and listen to me talk, sometimes I don't meet their expectations. Sometimes I do. So he goes out there and does a comedy act and you don't agree with it. So now, oh, well, we have to ban him from Canada. One attendee wrote on Reddit that Schneider's gig began with jokes about former U.S. President Donald Trump's recent conviction in his hush money trial. He opened up with some pretty funny jokes about how Trump is a convicted felon, and so America is a shit show compared to us, to Canada. Those got laughs. Oh yeah, because you're talking about Trump, and so that's okay. But if you talk about anybody on the left, you talk about anything. I mean, listen, again, to me, it doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is, what your gender is. There's only two genders. I'm sorry. Two genders. I'm never going to say there are more. Now, obviously, sometimes there is a third gender, which is a minority. And that happens because of nature. But that's all I'm going to say. Howdy. Now, where am I here? I've completely lost track. Never-ending story, blah, 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 blah. The West is much more corrupt, but they have the advantage of having the media to protect them. Did you see the character who induced the complaint? Oh, I saw the guy, and like I said yesterday, don't take this the wrong way, but he is the kind of guy that, you know, it wouldn't bother me if somebody just, you know, I can't say it. I can't say anything like this on YouTube because I don't want to incite anything. And convertibles. Good morning, Mr. Dowlow. I saw that guy, and that guy, well, calling him a guy is a stretch. That guy, if he didn't like the act, he needed to leave. Get out. If you don't like it, get out. You know, it's like watching a bad TV show or a TV show you don't like. If you turn it on and you see something you don't like, what do? You change the channel. Or at least that's what, in my book, that's what they do. You change the channel to something you like. Okay, nobody's forcing him to watch it. Nobody's forcing him to be there. And so he went and complained. Now he complained enough and he whined enough that they booted out Schneider. And now Schneider is persona non grata in Canada. Oh, well, they were laughing. Oh, my God. Why were you laughing? You were laughing at those jokes and they weren't funny. It doesn't matter. That doesn't matter, honestly. I don't care what the jokes are about. He's not inciting violence against anybody or doing anything like that. So he should be able to say what he wants. Just like Ricky Gervais said what he wanted, what was it, the Emmys? And he's, you know, he gave those people, he is extremely intelligent. because of the way that he goes after these people. And yet, okay, maybe they won't ask him back. I understand that. But what are you going to do? You're going to boot off everybody that says something you don't like? I mean, it's ridiculous. If you don't like it, okay, then don't ever have them back. Don't ever call them back and say, hey, come on down. We want you to put your show on, and entertain us. And for the people that are there, listen, you can boo them. What's the problem? Boo them. You want to boo them? Boo them. Well, Dave Chappelle doesn't. He's another one. He doesn't care. Listen, even Joe Rogan doesn't care. I don't think Joe Rogan is all that funny. I mean, sometimes he has some funny stuff. I don't think he's the funniest comedian. But Dave Chappelle, Chris Rock, Ricky Gervais. Ricky Gervais is probably he's my favorite comedian. And it's not necessarily because he jumps on people that normally wouldn't be jumped on. It's not because of that. It's just because when he tells jokes, they're funny. So, saying something like, why can't Rob Schneider just be the same person he was in a Netflix stand-up special? Well, I would say probably because he's constantly evolving. Now, another one, Bill Burr. Bill Burr, Bill Burr, if you really listen to his comedy, he admits, he wants to Jimmy Carr. He admits, what he wants to do to his wife. Wants to kill his wife. I want to kill her. People know it's a joke. And okay, maybe there's a hint of truth in it. Because in his head he's going, that woman. But then, that's it. So I don't get all this getting upset about it. Well, listen, there are people that love him and people that hate him. What is that one lady's name? Nikki Glasser. She's pretty funny. Amy Schumer? No, I don't like her. I don't hate Rob Schneider. I don't think he is the funniest comedian out there. I don't think he's all that funny sometimes. But I don't think Adam Sandler is funny. Sometimes he makes horrible movies. So, it's just people should be, here's the thing. In Thailand, if you sit and talk to someone, generally, you can say almost anything you want. As long as you don't get aggressive, you don't get excited and jump all over the person. And no, if you just relax and you communicate, generally you can do that almost anywhere. But man, you go out in front of in a comedy club and you go in front of a bunch of people, there's always going to be one person, or there might be 10 people that hate what you're doing. And you know what? That's okay. You can hate it. I understand. Of course there's Thai comedians. Never throw cheap jargon in the great what? Great white north. Lesson learned for him. This is the thing. You look at some of the things that Trudeau has done and some of the things that go on in Canada. Listen, I've been to Canada many times and I don't have any problem. with Canadians or anything like that. But I think sometimes I look at some, now I don't know because I'm just looking at the news, and you never know with the news now. But sometimes I just shake my head. I go, come on, man. You know who I used to like? What's his name? What was it? Les Patterson. Dame Edna. I think he's British, or he was. I think he's dead now. But man, I saw a couple movies with that guy, and I thought they were hilarious. And now, this is almost 30 years ago, and I never have forgotten him. Sitting there watching TV, Australian, okay. Sitting there watching TV and watching a movie with him in it and laughing my ass off. I just couldn't stop laughing. He was so funny. Anyway, so, freedom of speech, it seems that some people have different ideas of what freedom of speech are. Now, I asked the question, how do you rate freedom of speech in Southeast Asia? And here are the rankings according to various global reports, like the World Press Freedom Index by Reporters Without Borders and Freedom House's Freedom in the World report. Number 1, the freest place in Southeast Asia, Timor-Leste. Timor-Leste. Number 2, Indonesia. What's so funny is that George Carlin would pick it apart. He's like Ricky Gervais, or Ricky Gervais is like him. He'll pick it apart, and he won't have to play dirty, he won't have to swear, he won't have to do any of this. Number 2, Indonesia, relatively free. Timor-Leste, mostly free. Number 3, this I don't know about this one. The Philippines, partially free. The Philippines has a relatively free press, but journalists and individuals face significant risk, including harassment, legal threats, and violence. The government has been criticized for using libel laws to silence dissent. Now, what I can say is that I wrote something about Manny Pacquiao many years ago, and I said something like his fans are rabid to the point of lunacy. It's true. I don't know about now, but in the past, when he was big, I mean really big, he's at his peak, they were rabid to the point of lunacy. They went nuts over him. I wrote that, and I can't tell you how many Filipinos wrote me with hate mail. And I'm like, listen, it's not a hateful thing. I should be able to say that. If you don't like it, don't like me. I don't care. Doesn't matter. Number 4, partially free, Malaysia. Curtailed by strict laws against sedation, defamation, and religious offense. When it comes to religion, I want religion completely out. Religion is the cause of many problems in the world. The government has used these laws to suppress political criticism and control the media. Number 5, Thailand, partially free. Thailand's freedom of speech is heavily restricted, especially regarding the monarchy. The lèse-majesté law is among the strictest in the world. Other laws, such as the Computer Crimes Act, are also used to limit online speech and dissent. Okay. Number 6, and I was not aware of this really, Cambodia, mostly not free. Cambodia's freedom of speech has been increasingly restricted in recent years. The government has cracked down on independent media and political dissent, leading to a climate of fear and self-censorship among journalists and activists. Now, what I will say, there was a time when I wrote an article. And I was harsh. No doubt I was harsh on the people that I was referring to. And I was called to a certain person's office, political person, and was told, please don't ever write anything like that again, because we really don't want to see this. And I said, yeah, but it's true. I was like, it's true. And the guy goes, whether it's true or not makes no difference. And I was like, but I knew that if he wanted to, my ass was grass. I said, okay, no problem. And that was the end of that. And I never wrote anything about that again, because I just didn't want the hassle. I'm like, what do I need this hassle for? I'll write about something else. Number 7, Myanmar not free. Following the military coup in 2021, Myanmar has seen a drastic decline in freedom of speech. The military regime has imprisoned journalists, shut down independent media outlets, and imposed strict censorship. Hey, good morning, Andy. Myanmar is another place you need to be careful. And what I said is that when I first started going to Myanmar about 25 years ago, I was followed. I mean, you know, there are spies in Myanmar. They will follow you, and they will tell people in the vicinity, in the region. They'll tell them what you are doing. And if you're doing anything remotely anti-government, they can bring you in. And, you know, I've been told many times when I was in Myanmar, I was told many times, I was told one time not to go to an area. I was told another time, you shouldn't even go out in that direction. And then when I said, well, I'm going to do it, it was like, I'm going. I'm sorry if you don't like it, but I'm going. I basically was like, too bad. I wanted to see what they would do. Because I was like, I don't think they're going to kill me. It was, it was tactical, kind of, I just wanted to push it a little bit. And then the next thing I know, the police showed up at my guest house. This is in northern Myanmar. The police showed up at my guest house and asked me all kinds of questions about what I was doing, why I was going out there, what was the purpose of it. And, with me, I was like, oh, I don't know, I don't know who this guy is. I don't know if he's Muslim, maybe he's Buddhist. I don't really know. I just played stupid. And they were like, well, don't go out there. And then when they left, I went out there. Which, probably wasn't the brightest move, but Laos, not free. Laos is one of the most repressive countries in Southeast Asia regarding freedom of speech. The government tightly controls the media, and there is little space for dissenting opinions. Criticism of the government is not tolerated, leading to significant self-censorship. That is a word, and that happens here in Thailand. It happens in many, many countries. Self-censorship. You already know if you write something, there's going to be problems. Number 9, Vietnam, not free. Vietnam has strict controls on freedom of speech, particularly regarding political criticism and dissent. The government heavily censors the media and the internet. And bloggers, activists, and journalists who speak out against the state are often arrested. Doesn't surprise me. And, I hear all these people, they want to go, and, listen, I said, oh, wow, it sounds pretty good here. No retirement visa. They say you're gone, you're gone. Okay, you can't come back in, sorry. You're just like, oh, well, my house, my girlfriend, too bad. That And what they're saying here, which is, if you say anything negative about the government, then they might be calling you in for a little meeting. Brunei, not free. Brunei has very limited freedom of speech. The government tightly controls the media, and there are strict laws against criticism of the monarchy and the government. Religious and political speech are particularly restricted. And number 11, Singapore, mostly not free. While Singapore is a highly developed country, freedom of speech is tightly regulated. The government uses laws against defamation, sedition, and fake news to control the media and limit public discourse. Political speech in particular is heavily monitored. Yeah, I don't particularly like reading this stuff. All right, let's see here. I'm very careful when I write reviews in Thailand and what I share with Thai people. Most things don't leave our house. Yeah, I generally don't leave any reviews because sometimes there are reviews that I'd like to leave that are negative. And even with Grab taxis, most of the time, if I don't want to have any problems, I just don't leave a review. Once in a great while, I will leave a negative review, but I won't write anything. But most of the time, it's just, Schneider's problem is he's a has-been, taking any gigs he can and refusing to make a set for common public areas like hospital gigs. I don't know if he's a has-been or not. I mean, to me, he never was an A-lister. He's like a C-lister. Sir Les Patterson, he was the Australian at Ashley for Culture. Dame Edna Everidge, all characters of Barry Humphries. I know. Hello, Andy. Hello again. Thailand pass checks similar to COVID-19 has been implemented in Bangkok and Phuket. Thailand pass for arrival health screening implemented for 42 countries. Monkeypox. I will not do reviews of any of the many hotels I stay at for fear of ruffling some feathers with honest criticism. This is the thing. You can't be honest. You can't really say anything negative, even if it is true. Let's see here. 45 countries. Let me see if I can get the list of these here. Oh, okay. Yeah, okay. Let's calm down a little bit, because the countries where people are coming from: Angola, Benin, Bolivia, Brazil, Burkina Faso, Burundi, Cameroon, Central African Republic, Chad, Colombia, okay, Congo Republic, Cote d'Ivoire, Ecuador. Oh, Ecuador, wow, that's surprising. Equatorial Guinea, Ethiopia, French Guyana, Gabon, Gambia, Ghana, Guinea-Bissau, Republic of Guinea, Guyana, which I've been to Guyana before, Kenya, Liberia, Mali, Mauritania, Nigeria, Panama, which I've been to Panama before, Peru. Okay, these two are a little surprising to me. Sao Tome and Principe, Senegal, Sierra Leone, Somalia, Sudan, Suriname, Tanzania, Togo, Trinidad and Tobago. I've been there. Uganda, Venezuela, Argentina, Paraguay. Okay, so really most of these countries are in Africa. So if you're not in Africa, chances are you're going to be okay coming here, and you're not going to need to deal with this. I understand that. I know they're going from one country to another, But there are many people who are not traveling to a lot of these countries. I would say you got Argentina, Venezuela, Paraguay. Okay, people go there. Some people. Guyana. I mean, listen, I was the only white guy in Guyana when I was there. I didn't see any white people there when I was there, which is all right. But I'm just saying there wasn't many. I didn't see many Americans or Europeans there. Ecuador, okay, that surprises me. Brazil surprises me a little bit. Bolivia, and that's it. So what is that? 5 or 6 countries. France is not on the list. And it's not an old list. So, you know, I would say you just take it for what it's worth. Just take it with a grain of salt. Yes, you got to be concerned, but not all that concerned. Okay, so those are the countries that freedom of speech. Let's see here. Some celebrities who have been canceled. Oh, well, let's not forget about James Woods. That guy, he's vehemently against the left. Also, Rob Schneider, Roseanne Barr, Kathy Griffin. That was because of what she did with Trump. Ted Nugent. The Dixie Chicks, now the Chicks. Colin Kaepernick. Who's that? Gina Carano. You know, she made a couple little remarks online, and then Disney just dropped her. All right, so now, if you want to know which countries have the greatest freedom of speech, which is always subjective, let me read the top 10 to you. Oh, right away, Australia provides robust protections for freedom of speech, though like Canada, it balances these with laws against hate speech and defamation. What about Pee Wee Herman? I don't know what you're talking about Pee Wee Herman other than what he did about 30 years ago. Yeah, it's not just freedom of speech. It's censorship as well. Various things. All right, listen, before I go on, do me a favor. Click the like button. Smash the like button. Hit the like button. Subscribe. Hit the notification bell. Go down in the description or look below the video and you'll see some products down below. Those are shirts and coffee mugs and all kinds of stuff you can get. You also got Patreon. We got Amazon. Don't forget to use Wise. And, you know, I don't really make anything from Wise. I mean, I think 2 people have signed up through me for Wise in like 5 years. But it is a great service. It's better than any of the others that I know. So I do like it. You can go to Amazon. You can go to my Amazon shop. You can go to Buy Me a Coffee, the CASHAPP, or you can become a member right here with YouTube. $1.99. Big money. That's why I make the big dollars, baby. I'm making $1.99. Well, yes, that is something else that I wanted to discuss. The UK, Canada, and I don't even know where else, but there's a couple of places that you know, these places are throwing people in jail because they don't like what they said. They think that they're spreading hatred. Which I just go, what are you talking about? If I say I don't like something, listen, if I was to say I don't like this is going to be real easy. I don't like a widget. Oh my God. He doesn't like a widget. That's hate speech. And if I say I love a widget, widgets are great. Everybody's, yeah, all right. It could be anything. Just put in a word. I don't like Doberman pinchers. I hate them. They're this and that. Oh, you really hate those dogs? It's almost the same thing. And, I know that's a generalization, but really, it's not all that generalized. I'm not saying you go out and go, if this white guy does something, then he's this or he's that. I'm not saying that that's how it should be. You shouldn't care about, really, to me, I don't really care about what color somebody is, where they come from. I don't care. As long as they're decent to me. That's it. Why is that so hard to understand? And if I go, listen, if I was to say, I really don't like pink people, they really get on my nerves. It's been my experience that all pink people are a pain in the ass. What are you gonna do? You gonna throw me in jail? It's, it's just stupid. I don't understand this. Wait a minute, what is this here? Oh, okay. This is a Megyn Kelly thing. Apparently she said, "Fuck off, I'm back. You can't shut me up." And it doesn't matter. I mean, what's funny is it doesn't matter if it's Don Lemon, Megyn Kelly, Donald Trump, Joe Biden. It doesn't matter. They can say whatever they want. Let them. It doesn't mean people have to agree with them. I'm not a fan of green people. Yes. Oh my God. I could say yellow. But that might, that people might take that the wrong way. Listen, I'll tell you a little story here, and it got my friend pissed off. And it has to do with, what is the shirt that I got down here? Farang Lives Matter. And my friend said, what? Really? If it's Black Lives Matter, that's because black people have been treated a certain way for many years, for generations. Why is it Farang Lives Matter? And I was like, because Farang are second-class citizens in Thailand. Sometimes. And I said, why can't I put that on a shirt? Why is that so bad? I didn't mean anything like, like hatred or, oh my God, these Thai people, they're so bad because Farang lives matter and they don't act like Farang lives do matter. People go, oh, words really hurt. They really hurt me. Well, guess what? I grew up in the era where people said sticks and stones break, what is it? Sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never harm me. And that's the thing. CEO of Telegram arrested in France. Elon Musk next. I saw that. I don't know why he's arrested. I have no idea. I just saw the headline. Hearing people say what they want allows you to know who they really are. Nowadays, you can't identify the bigots and racists. Well, nowadays, if you say something that could be mildly controversial, Now, you're not going to get that really in Thailand most of the time unless you're wearing it in front of certain people, influential people, people who really care. You're wearing it in front of a particular group that you are addressing. Then you might have an issue. But for the most part, whatever you wear, nobody cares. That's the thing. People are concerned about their own lives here. Maybe what's going on in some parts of the world is they got too much time on their hands. They want to go out and protest about this and protest. How do you got time to go out and protest? Go out, work, make your money, do what you got to do. And then how much time you got left over? Is it because mama's paying the bill for you? She's paying all your bills and you're living in the garage? I mean, why is it? I'm not saying you shouldn't protest or there aren't things that are worthy of protesting. I'm just saying certain things, I think people should just leave it alone. I got a t-shirt at Night Market in Ontario, All Lives Matter, except ISIS, fuck those guys. I like that. I always wore my For All Lives Matter with pride. I just can't find it now. Well, it is being sold down below. CEO is arrested because he doesn't censor messages, and according to France, this is an act of terrorism. Oh yeah, they're so full of shit. France, Canada. Ridiculous. Oh, because you don't say anything about what someone says, you're promoting terrorism. No, you're not. Maybe you're just allowing people to say things. Now, I don't know in what context they're attacking him. They're trying to bring him in. I don't know, because maybe he did say things or he did allow things that should not be allowed. I don't know. However, most of the time, you can say whatever the hell you want. I mean, here's the thing. I know some people have no filter, and maybe some of them are just stupid. But normal people don't go out and attack other groups of people simply because they don't like them. I mean, I can think of certain people I don't like, but I don't like them enough to go after them. I mean, for what? What good's it gonna do me? Oh, I'm gonna feel so good because I'm giving them a hard time. I'm too scared to wear my Wake Up Chowderhead t-shirt in case I upset a Chowderhead. I don't think that's gonna happen. At the same time, he doesn't decrypt messages for... I love that. This is the thing. Governments want to be able to tell anybody and everybody, oh, well, if we need to get at it, you're going to give us this information. And for somebody like him, he's going, no, I won't. It's encrypted. I'm not going to give it to you. Oh, yes, you will. Oh, no, I won't. Now, there are certain things I think to myself, why should the government have access to that information? Information about me, information about you. Do you want them to know your medical history? I mean, you know, most of the time people are not hiding all that much. They're not hiding a lot of bad stuff. Maybe there are people out there that do that, again, but a lot of people have nothing to hide. Yeah, George Orwell was dead on, and I highly suggest reading 1984, and it will tell you exactly the world that we are living in and heading into. Unbelievable. Think, speak. Oh, you understand what I'm thinking. Imagine if they could implant a chip into your brain, and if you thought anything, any kind of hatred towards another group, you got thrown in jail. Or they just turn that section of your brain off where you're not allowed to use it anymore. Imagine. Now, the way that I look at it is I don't know how many years left to maybe, we'll say 25 on a high end. That means I'd be 87. If I lived to be 90, I'd be like, wow. As long as I'm not peeing and crapping myself, that's good. I'm good. Okay, fine. But what I'm saying is, in these coming decades, I'm hoping that nothing happens to where I'm like, wow, I can't believe this is happening, and I have to do this, or I have to do that. Oh my God, can you believe it? They're going to implant chips into everybody. Everybody's going to have a computer ID tab. You go in, and it's just like a vaccine. They just they implant it in your arm. Boom. Now you're good for the rest of your life. It could happen. All right, let me go over these. Number 10 was Australia. Number 9, United States. The United States has one of the strongest legal frameworks for freedom of speech, protected by the First Amendment. However, societal and digital platform constraints can sometimes complicate the exercise of this right. Yeah, definitely. Number 8, New Zealand. Number 7, Germany. Germany protects freedom of speech and the press, but with some limitations, particularly concerning hate speech, Holocaust denial, and incitement to violence. Despite these restrictions, Germany is generally considered to have a high level of free expression. I don't know, has anybody ever met somebody who was a Holocaust denier? Because I did. I totally lost respect for this woman, and I really didn't like her. I worked with her. She was German. And she denied it all. And that was like, lady, you're full of shit, man. Number 6, the Netherlands is known for its liberal stance on freedom of speech with broad protections for expression and a free press. The country also encourages open debate and diverse viewpoints. Number 5, Canada. What in the heck was that? Canada has strong legal protections for freedom of speech and a free press, balanced by hate speech laws that aim to protect vulnerable groups from harm. Canada's legal framework is designed to uphold free expression while maintaining social order. Well, I just don't agree with this. I don't agree with Canada. Number 4, number 4 through number 1 are Scandinavian countries. Number 4 is Denmark. Strong legal safeguards against censorship and government interference in media, ensuring a high level of public discourse. Number 3, Finland ranks highly in global indexes for freedom of speech with strong legal protections for free expression and a well-established tradition of press freedom. Number 2, Sweden. It's enshrined in its constitution. The country also has comprehensive laws protecting journalists and individuals from censorship. Now listen, if you work in Sweden and you're a journalist, well great, you got all kinds of rights. But if you got to go somewhere else where they don't care that you're a journalist, listen, I can tell you that in Hong Kong and in Myanmar, they don't care that you're a journalist. I mean, the Hong Kong people cared, but the police really didn't care. 2 times they pointed guns at me because I had my camera up. One time a guy, he was standing right next to me, and he took some photos and he was using the flash. And the police ran over to him. They gave him so much shit because he was using a flash, even though it was dark. He was using a flash, and they didn't like it. And they got in his face, and man, he's just going, I'm sorry. And they were threatening him. Another time in Hong Kong, I told this story already. The guy tells me to back up. I start backing up. I hit a pole. It's a big, wide pole. So I'm like trying to figure out where to go. Boom, he sprays me in the eyes with pepper spray. Like, for like 10 seconds. And then he just walks away. I'm like, oh, you prick. He was just a prick. He just did it because he wanted to. So, I guess I was so protected there. I mean, it is China, supposedly. And I don't feel at all protected in China or Hong Kong. And, there were parts of me that I really liked the people in Hong Kong because the majority of them are not mainlanders. And so it was very easy for me and they were very good to me. But anytime you got the Chinese involved, then all of a sudden it wasn't very nice. Number one is Norway. Norway is frequently at the top of the World Press Freedom Index and other similar rankings. This country has strong protections for freedom of speech and press freedom with minimal government interference in media and public discourse. Well, there you go. Okay, what is this? I had my dog chipped. Well, we're going to have our cat. I don't know if our dog is chipped or our cat is chipped or sick. I don't think he is. But he did get the snip. Now, Nancy's going to have to get the snip like when the wife comes back. Nancy needs to get snipped because I don't want her spraying my house. That list needs a very big bag of salt. Yeah. This is the thing, all these lists, it's like, depends on who's making the list. All right, so let me see here. There were some other things. What did I want to talk about here? Okay, the United States does have a strong legal framework protecting freedom of speech enshrined in the First Amendment of the Constitution. Yeah, all those are rather small countries, which is why they have some of the things that they have and why things work for them. If they were the United States, which is like 70 times larger, then they wouldn't have anything. This amendment prohibits the government from making laws that infringe upon the freedom of speech, allowing individuals to express their opinions, criticize the government, and speak freely without fear of legal repercussions. However, this freedom is not absolute. There are certain exceptions where speech is not protected under the First Amendment, including incitement to violence, obscenity, defamation, true threats. Statements that are intended to and are perceived as real threats of violence are not protected. Number 5, commercial speech. Advertising and other forms of commercial speech are subject to more regulation, especially if they are misleading or involve illegal products or services. I've been drinking my coffee here. This is a little bit sour. It's not as good as yesterday's or day before. Private entities, such as social media platforms, have their own rules and guidelines. Since these platforms are not government actors, they can restrict speech based on their policies, which has sparked debates about the limit of free speech in the digital age. So while the United States does have robust protections for free speech, these protections have boundaries, and the context in which speech occurs can influence how it is regulated or restricted. Yeah, okay. And so why is this such a big deal? And it's not just Rob Schneider, because he's small potatoes. And I think he would say that. In the overall scheme of things, with censorship, freedom of speech. I think he's pretty small potatoes. But if I want to write something, I should be able to write it, as long as it doesn't, I'm not threatening someone or being overly obscene. All right, in Thailand, Thailand's approach to freedom of speech is more restricted compared to countries like the United States. While the Thai Constitution nominally guarantees freedom of speech, there are significant limitations in practice, particularly concerning issues related to the monarchy, national security, and public order. Key areas where freedom of speech is restricted include lèse-majesté, Computer Crimes Act, national security laws, defamation laws, and censorship. Scott, who is your favorite comedian? I would have to say probably Ricky Gervais. He's probably my favorite comedian. He's pretty good. Russell Peters. I've seen him before, but I haven't seen him in a while, a couple of years. And so I don't know. I don't know about Russell Peters. I don't know where he stands on my list, but while there is some level of freedom of expression in Thailand, especially in areas that do not touch on sensitive topics, that's what it is right there. Do these touch on sensitive subjects or not? And I'm going to say, in almost all cases, comedians touch on things, and they may be being sarcastic, or whatever you want to call it. They always touch on sensitive subjects, because that's what sets people off. That's what touches people. I mean, you should be able to joke about anything, and I don't mean joking in a dastardly, nasty, or mean kind of way. If you watch Don Rickles, the guy never swore, and he never was nasty. If you watch Jerry Seinfeld, who I don't find all that funny, he never swears, never curses. Yeah, I saw that. In Oz, they try to block a video on Twitter of an anti-Israeli protest here. Elon Musk told them to fuck off. It went to court. The government lost. I think that's great. I think Elon Musk is great, man. And I think you need people like him. This is the thing. I did see Afterlife. It was really good. I was kind of sad that it ended. But, it's got to end. And I think he's really smart about what he does. When you watch his shows, I mean, An Idiot Abroad was almost one season too long. It was 2 seasons plus. They had, what's that guy's name? I forget the guy's name, the short guy. And I thought it was great. It was fantastic. I think they made Carl Pilkington out to be this complete moron. And I mean, when you see him doing Muay Thai, he's doing Muay Thai in Thailand, I mean, he looks terrible. I mean, he's not like some manly man kicking him. He's not doing this kind of stuff. And then I forget if it was him or it was the Thai guy. I think the Thai guy goes, "Hey, that's my dog." They were working out and the dog kept like licking him or something. And he's like, "Get out of here, get out of here." And the guy goes, "Hey, that's my dog. Like, what are you doing to my dog?" You know, just fantastic. The only thing that touches me is the fact badass best dad in Asia, Scott, live streams so much during the week and graces us with all his mighty gangsterness. Well, thank you very much there, Tokyo. Mr. Tokyo. Dale, totally agree. Russell Peters gets away with a lot, even in Saudi and other sensitive nations. I'll tell you what. I know the Saudis probably pay good money. I don't know if I would go there, man, because that place scares me. Nothing but love and sushi from across the bay over here. I had sushi yesterday. Hey, fire dude. I like this topic. Keep going. I like it too. You know, I gotta say, ever since I was a little kid, I was always the kid, and I was always the person who's like, you don't tell me what to do. What power do you have over me? Why are you telling me what to do? I do what I want. You know, all about being real and against censorship and all sensitivity of the world. Yeah, what happened to people not being so sensitive? You know, the guy who had Rob Schneider booted out. That guy's a baby. Shut up. He needs to shut his mouth. He's such a little baby. Now your brain is being played with by God. Is your God dead in Indonesia? Meet it. Oh, well, you need to be booted out of here, buddy. Sorry, see you later. Bye-bye. Idiot. Bye-bye, lardass. Lardass. George Carlin best. Well, George Carlin was awesome, but, you know, he's not alive now. That's why I say Ricky Gervais. But he is probably, he's in my top 5. I don't know. I have never really thought about it, but he may be number 1. I don't know. I have to really think about it. But I do like George Carlin a lot because he predicted a lot of things, and also he had a way of dealing with things that a lot of you know, the thing is, to be a great comedian, I think you need to be extremely intelligent. To be a so-so comedian or a bad comedian, like, say, Brendan Schaub, or to me, a so-so comedian is somebody like Joe Rogan. I mean, he's okay. Oh, Rodney Dangerfield was definitely one of my favorites. My brother found some old therapy papers of mine when I was a kid, and it read like, Samuel has a very big problem when it comes to respecting authority, and it is very combative. That's funny. You went to therapy in elementary school because you were probably telling people, you can't tell me what to do. Prior to spiking drinks, Cosby was great, family-friendly comedian. I like Cosby as Fat Albert, and that's about it. Chris Rock, yeah, he's up there. He's in my top 10, maybe top 5. You know. You would have made an excellent soldier, Sam. Oh, God. Yeah, Seinfeld is good, but I don't, you know, to me, I mean, he comes out with some zingers once in a while, but he's pretty tame for the most part. I like Bill Burr. I do like Bill Burr. I like Bill Burr because he kind of pushes it. He pushes the limit. Steve Martin, Robin Williams, I'm not a big fan of Robin Williams, honestly. I know a lot of people really like him. They think he's so funny and he's so talented, and I just don't get it. I mean, I can see why people like him, but I am not a fan of Robin Williams. To me, he was like the little kid who wanted somebody, he wanted the attention from the adults all the time. Kevin Hart, I don't know, he's kind of dropped down on my list. I used to like him, but I don't really like him anymore. Carlin Pryor. You know who I like is Ron White. Ron White is excellent. Yeah, I like Chappelle. I think we've touched on a nerve here. Billy Connolly was good, yes. I just saw him yesterday in an episode of House. He was sleeping with House's mother, which was pretty funny. Oh, God, that was pretty funny. Ah, come on, guys. Do me a favor. Smash the like button. How many times I gotta ask? You know, smash the like button. You know, look at everything. Super Chat. Amazon. Wise. Yada, yada, yada. Seinfeld. I wasn't drunk in public. I was drunk in the bar. You threw me in public. Andy Kaufman. I mean, you know, his... when he would do that kind of stuff, at first he was funny. After a while, I was like, eh. Thank you, Sammy. Hard and with conviction. I like Kaufman in Taxi, actually, because it wasn't too much of him. Bernie, you know who's pretty good is Cedric the Entertainer. And that, what was her name? Is it? Oh, Red Fox. Red Fox was good. I liked Red Fox. Just because he was so nasty. He got to wash the ass. If you don't know about that, you have to look it up on YouTube. Thank you very much, Aiden. Appreciate that. Oops, there we go. Thank you very much, Sean. Thank you, everybody. Appreciate it. Yeah, if you really want to watch something funny, you gotta listen to Red Fox. And it's You Got to Wash Your Ass. That's the name of the bit. Gallagher, I didn't really like him. I mean, you know, the thing is that the comedians who last a long time, those are the ones who are really good. And, you know, Carlin was good for a long time. Ricky Gervais, good for a long time. He doesn't get stale. So that's why I like them. But, you know, like Gallagher or what's that other guy's, you know, Pumpkinhead, or what's the guy's name? The guy with the red head. Carrot Top. You know, I mean, like, he's good for a little while and then boom, that's it. The end of him. You know. He wasn't a stand-up, but I love Pauly Shore in his movies. Just the way he talked and vibe was so unique. When he cut his hair, lost a lot of his essence. Why he did it, but yeah. Yeah, he was good for a little while. You know, I mean, and he had to be, like, growing up with all these comedians around him. I mean, he probably was just funny from being around all these people. But now it's a different story. I don't know if he's still doing comedy, if he goes on tours and stuff like that. He might. In fact, I would think he probably does. But, you know, everybody has their days. Yeah, Jimmy Carr is pretty funny. And, you know, that's the thing about him. I don't like these people who, you know, they've got to conform. And it's like, listen, if you got to do that, I don't want to listen to you. Listen, I saw Dice Clay back in the day. This is about 35 years ago in LA. And that was the old, you know, the hickory dickory dock. This chick was sucking my, you know, and everybody would go along with him. Yeah, he's all right, Jim. He's all right. You know. Yeah, Dice was funny early on, and so was Sam Kinison. To me, Kinison was very, very funny in the beginning, and I saw him too. I saw him when he did the bit with he was in Vegas. I went to Vegas, and then like 6 months later, he died. A year later, he died. But that was the one where he said, is there anybody out here who just broke up with a girl? Yes. Okay. Oh, come here. Can we call her up? He's like, yeah, okay. So they called up the girl, and he's like, hello, Marissa, how are you? This is Sam Kinison. You know, you fucking bitch! He started screaming at her. Oh my God. He was hilarious. Jim Carrey didn't do a lot, but his stand-up was very unique. Oh yeah, his facial expressions are incredible. What I like about Jim Carrey now is that he's his own man. He does whatever the hell he wants. He doesn't care what anybody wants him to do. He's made his money and he can do whatever he wants. I think he paints now. And, you know, that's about it. I think it's great that he does that. I enjoy that when I see people, you know, they made a bundle of money and they just go, you know what, I'm done. I'm going to do what I want now. And they got enough money where they can do whatever they want for the rest of their life. Whether they're making money, not making money, it doesn't matter. And I suspect at some point, I mean, Rogan he's just pulling in the bank. When his contracts are up, all his contracts are up, maybe he'll go, that's it, I'm done. I'll go hunting, I'll exercise, I'll do jiu-jitsu, and that'll be it. You know. What time is it now? 10:30. Wow. I'm trying to think of what I'm going to have. This is my big dilemma. What to eat for lunch. I made, because the wife is not home now, so this is an extra chore. I made them lunch, and then I'm making them pasta for dinner. Then tomorrow I got hamburgers for them for lunch, and I don't know, for dinner. These are the days of my lives. The life and time of an American in Bangkok. The Expat Experience live with Scott Mallon. Yes, that's what this is. So that may be me cooking for my kids. I don't know. And good for you. It took a screenshot. Woo! Yeah, good for you. Hell of an experience. Yes, hell of an experience. Wow, this is pretty weird. I am honored that someone would take a screenshot of my channel. Ultra Alpha American in Bangkok Dad Experience. I always hate that, you know, oh, he's an alpha. Oh, he's a beta. Oh, whatever. I am what I am, whatever that may be. Come up to the farm and we can do mushrooms and live stream. Oh, Jesus. Listen, I've done that before. I have no idea. Who cares? It doesn't matter. He doesn't matter. He's irrelevant. He's an irrelevant viewer. That's what he is. I am what I am, and that's all I am. Yes. And you know, I've learned this over time. It's taken me almost 12 years, 11 and a half years, where, you know, people comment, they say rude things, they say whatever they're saying. Sometimes it's just to try to trigger me. And you know, in the old days, I would get triggered, I admit it. And now I just don't give a fuck. You know, do what you want, man. Go ahead. Make a video of me. I don't care. Thank you for spreading the word. I feel like you're like somebody religious who's spreading the word of God. You just promoting my channel. Thank you. Congratulations, Scott, the first super shot screenshot on a live stream. I don't think it's the first. I wish I could do a super chat. We love you, Dad. They want to promote your gangsterness. Whatever. Big news in Oz last few days. Oasis is getting back together. I saw them already. Honestly, my wife and I went and saw them in Thailand. I don't know how many years ago, 20 years ago. We saw them. And they were pretty good, you know. But honestly, a lot of their songs sound alike. You know. And I like them, but a lot of their songs sound alike. So, and I think they said something like, we're going to be bigger than the Beatles or something like that. I'm like, yeah, sure you are. Sure you are. Anyway, so, you know, I saw Pink Floyd months after the release of Dark Side of the Moon. Wow. I would have liked to see them. I definitely would have liked to see Pink Floyd. Yes, I am. I sure am. Twice a week, 50 milliliters, or what is it, 125 milligrams per shot, twice a week. That's the dosage. In an outdoor venue with surround sound. Wow. Oasis always seems to rip off the Beatles. You know, the fact that the Beatles are around like 60 years from around when they started, it's almost 60 years. I think it's a little more than 60 years. It's pretty incredible. You know, the other day I heard some song and it was something like, you know, It Had to Be You or something like that. And I was like, I wonder how old that song is. And I thought, it's got to be 70, 80 years old. And it was like 100 years old. And I go, the fact that they're still playing that song is pretty impressive. People will remember songs because they are milestones in their own life. And when it comes to people, most of the time, I mean, people will remember certain people, but then after a couple of decades, people don't, they just forget them. You know, when you think about it, I mean, if you ask somebody right now, who's George Washington? Even Americans, if you ask them that, they'd be like, I don't know. Who is George Washington? And, you know, you just think it's some dude who used to wear a wig. I think it's a little bit more than that. I mean, I'm sure there's Australians and British and Canadians and people go, oh, you know this guy? No, I don't remember. 10 years after, I love them. Alvin Lee, Coming Home, Going Home. What is it? Going Home. I think it was Going Home. That was such a badass song. The way he played guitar on that was unbelievable, man. Every once in a while you hear something and you go, that stands out. And that song stood out. The other day I saw this girl with one of those little, what are those things called? Is it DJI? Yeah, that's the one I like. I think it's a DJI little thing where they got the little recording thing. You got to hold. It's kind of delicate, and she's like recording all over here. And I was looking at it, just going, wow. I don't understand it. Yeah, the Pocket Osmo or whatever that thing is called. It just didn't seem very sturdy to me. The Woodstock version is killer, yes. That guy I think he's still alive. Yeah, my students are mostly elementary age, and I bet they are learning typical Japanese stories. But I taught them briefly about some American books for kids like Where the Red Fern Grows. Gotta teach them directly the classics. Teach them about Mark Twain. There's so many good stories out there from Robert Louis Stevenson. Pocket, very good in low light. I watched the Beatles move 8 days ago, directed by Ron Howard on the plane. Amazing band. I don't know which movie you're referring to. Oh, on a personal note, just booked a 2-day tour from Istanbul to Gallipoli for the Anzac Day Dawn service. Bucket list for me. Tom Sawyer is a genius. I've had a hard time not teaching them about Japanese imperialism, 1935 to 45. It's got over a dozen dialects in it. Jesus Christ. 8 days a week. Oh, okay. Okay, I got it. The simple fact that people are still watching those things. I think about, there's a couple of movies, like Ong Bak and Beautiful Boxer, and bands like Loso. And I think about them, and I go, let me see something. That was about 30 years ago. Yeah, about 30 years ago. And you start seeing these things, you go, holy cow. But that's not that old. Like 20, 30 years is not that old. I thought he had a spouse. What happened? Yep, been telling brief summaries of the stories. Davy Crockett, Don Quixote, Alice in Wonderland, Charlotte's Web, Huck Finn, yeah. Yeah, Twain was exceptional. Obviously, Ernest Hemingway was exceptional. You two are legends. You two? I like you two. Get them on Hunter S. Thompson ASAP. You can't go wrong with that. Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. Wow. Eubie Blake. No shit. I mean, I would have seen U2 back 20 years ago. I don't think I'd go see them now. I think he means pass as in he wouldn't go see him. Well, what I will say about YouTube is that to some people don't like their work. You could say that about any group. So I understand it. You know, not everybody likes rock and roll. Not everybody likes U2. Not everybody likes Led Zeppelin. Not everybody likes Creedence Clearwater. Not everybody loves Taylor Swift. I mean, you know, listen, my wife, she loves Blackpink. I'm like, I hate that shit. I can't listen to it. To me, it's garbage. Roy Buchanan. You know who I saw when I was a kid is Roy Clark and Glenn Campbell. Fantastic guitar players. Absolutely phenomenal. When U2 got all political, they lost me. Well, I can say the same thing about Robert De Niro. You know, I think he's a fantastic actor. He's made some fantastic, excellent movies. But I really don't want to see him nowadays because now when I see him, he's talking about politics and how much he hates Trump. And I don't care if he hates Trump or loves Trump. I don't care about that. What I care is I don't want to know his politics. I don't give a shit. It doesn't matter. Yeah, I know. What is it? I am a what is it? I am a lineman for the county or something like that. You know who also, I will tell you, is someone who, he's a, you know, great solo artist, but he was also in a group, and I can't remember the name of the song, but Kenny Rogers. Let's see here. Oh, he was in the first edition, and he sang "Just dropped in to see what condition my condition was in." Yeah, the first edition. Yeah. Rick Beato interviewed the guy that wrote Wichita Lineman. Huh. Even I know that guy because Alex turned me on to the guy on YouTube, Rick Beato or Beato or whatever it is. You got the 45? Are you really? You still using 45s in records? I know a guy who, that's what he does. He wanted me to help him collect some records here in Thailand. Have to go check on some flooding. Probably a good idea. Oh, you got it back there. I wish I would have saved those and wish I would have saved my baseball cards. If I would have saved all those, I would be a rich man now. 20 thumbs up. That's it? I'm aiming for 50. Amboy Dukes. Yes, I know who Amboy Dukes are. I'm aware of that. Lots of good stuff out there. And, you know, to be honest, I hear these guys going, oh, they don't make, you know, every time, look, if you go on, you'll find a song. We'll say More Than a Feeling by Boston. Whatever the song may be, it's years ago. You'll see people writing, oh, they don't make them like this anymore. Oh, I was doing this with my wife, and nowadays we're an old couple, and, you know, and really, I hate to see that. I don't want to know all your life story behind the music. This came out in 1978, and I was only 16 years old. What a band. They don't make them like this anymore. All the musicians now, oh, it's all auto-tune, and, you know, and I mean, listen, I don't know that many groups nowadays that I really like. Well, I did hear some stories about Tom Schultz being a bit of a dick, which doesn't surprise me. And I did like Boston when they first came out. You know, the first two albums, great. The third album, okay. After that, you know, you got all these groups coming out here. And you know what, he doesn't recognize, and I mean, listen, I understand he might have played most of the instruments. He might have been playing most of the instruments on all the tracks, but he didn't have to. These guys could have played it. That guy, the guy who was a singer, was phenomenal. So I don't know, you know, why he had a problem with him. And yeah, I know all this stuff. You know, I'm aware of all this. And you know, this is the problem now. Even in the old days, these guys couldn't keep it together. You know, I really respect the bands. I mean, like, look at the Rolling Stones. They keep it together for 40, 50 years. You know, that takes a lot. Take it easy, Sean. Take it easy. Every so often, I sit down here and I'm streaming, and that same lady sits down next to me, and she drinks her coffee, she drinks her water, and then she bails. Yeah, listen, this is the thing. It's not about how good of a musician you are. What really matters is that you can put together songs. You can write these songs, and they are good, catchy, with catchy tunes. That's what really matters. If you see how good some of these people are, you know, yeah, it's about what you can create. That's exactly what it is. And, you know, I think in a sense, that's why I don't like to see people trampling on other people's freedom of speech. Because when you trample on somebody's freedom of speech, you are, in effect, hampering their creativity. Yeah, I mean, listen, when you're 81 years old, I think it's time to retire. I mean, you know, maybe he just enjoys it. If it were me, I'd be like, all right, that's it. I got my money. I got 350 million. You know, whatever it is that he's got, half a billion dollars. I think it's 350 or something like that. Holy shit. What? Really? Is he worth that much? Let me see. Hang on a second. He says, my kids don't need 500 million to live well. Oh, so they don't let me read this, you bastards. That sucks. Oh well. Supposedly, he's worth 6.5 billion? Yeah. No, see, that's, I don't know why they're saying that. The richest Rolling Stone is Sir Michael Philip Jagger. He's worth $500 million. So there you go. And, you know, that's good because Jagger has 8 children. When you got 8 children, you better have some money. These guys are richer than God. Elton John spent $1 million for his landscaping. I remember when Elton John came out with Your Song and Daniel. I remember that. I think it was 1969 or 1970. And, you know, he came out and I said, oh, I really like this. And now, you know, he's got... The thing is, if you listen to Elton John's greatest hit, I mean, he's got, you know, 75 hits. I mean, the guy's really good, you know, and the same with the Stones. So, you know, but getting back to the whole freedom of speech thing. Without freedom of speech, some of these guys would not be allowed to make music, would not be allowed to write songs. You know, it just wouldn't happen. Yeah, I saw the Stones. I saw the Stones with Guns N' Roses. And I had a limousine to that event. I think it was the only time I've ever taken a limousine to a concert. Yeah, well, listen, I hate to put it this way, but that's why now I just do whatever I want, the way I want it. If it's bothering somebody, I just, you know, I won't do it. Or I'll go somewhere else where I can do it. You know, I'm sure, I'm absolutely positive that the book that I wrote, the first book that I wrote, irritated people. It pissed some people off. I mean, I got called a misogynist. I got called all kinds of names. And you know what? I don't give a fuck. If you ask me, would I do it all over again? Of course I would. I'd write that book again. And I think I could do it better this time. And you know, I mean, I've been writing books for a while, but you know, just don't finish them. I mean, I don't have to do anything just to irritate people. It's not like I'm going, oh, I'm going to go and irritate this guy. Oh, I'm going to do this because I know it really pisses people off. But the thing is I should be able to do pretty much whatever I want. within reason. You know, why not? And you know, for every time you do something that people like, there's always people out there that don't like it. And it took me a long while to understand that not everybody's going to like you. And it took me many years. I mean, it probably took me 50-something years to learn that what other people think about me just doesn't matter. It's none of my business. I don't care what they think about me. For what? Why would I care? You know, I just don't care. Five old ladies, all in their little spandex aerobics outfits. That's a sight right there. They're not trying to irritate me, but they're doing what they want. Yeah, the bottom line is, you know, when you think about it, like what's important, it's so easy. Very nice, thank you. You know, what's important? Hey, you know, it's nice, oh, people like me, oh, great, okay, that's great, it's nice. You know, I mean, I'm not, listen, I seen this one guy on YouTube. I came across his videos. Well, I came across him because of somebody else that was like saying, oh, look at what he's done now, or something. He's Johnny Somalia. And this guy goes out, and he did it in Thailand, he did it in Japan. He goes and he purposely tries to irritate people and piss them off. That's not my personality. I don't want to piss anybody off. I'm not trying to piss somebody off. Oh, is that the... It's my yoga teacher. I'm not trying to piss off anybody. But if I do, you know, so sorry, I wasn't trying to do that. You know. So, you know, and in fact, I was talking to somebody the other day, and she asked me, well, yeah, what's really important to you? So, you know what's important to me nowadays? My family. It's the only thing that's important. Everything else doesn't matter. It's all, you know, it's really not all that important. You know, what's important is, oh, I eat good, I'm healthy, the kids, you know, and the wife, everybody, you know, we're all healthy. That's all, that's important. And everything else is just gravy. It doesn't really matter. Where before, you know, it used to be like, oh, I hope this chick likes me, and I hope I can do this, and I hope I can do that. Well, you always need some comfort. I mean, you know, that's just the way that it is. You want some level of comfort, and some people need greater levels of comfort than others. I mean, I don't want to live in an ice house, freezing my nuts off. That's not comfortable to me. And, you know, could I live in a house with no air conditioning and just fans, a wooden house, and, you know, up on the second floor? Yeah, I could. But do I really want to? No. You know. It's all about what you want. I want good, healthy food. I want, hang on a second. Oh no, okay. I want good, healthy food. I want to be somewhat comfortable. I mean, I fall asleep in front of the TV. I fall asleep on the floor sometimes. I put a pillow down there, I lay there and I'm watching TV, and I fall asleep sometimes because the kids are laying on the sofa or whatever. And that's okay. It doesn't matter to me. That's not important. Well, I mean, I definitely don't need $1 million, but you need some kind of income just so that you can live and be, fairly comfortable. Like, it's the same thing as risk. You do it, but calculated. Yeah, exactly. I live my life with some level of comfort and some level of risk, and I don't take as many risks as when I was younger. I was thinking about it. I was thinking about it the other day. I was like, oh, when I went to Myanmar, would I do that again? Now, would I go again? I probably would. I don't know that I would be as mobile. Would I go to Hong Kong again? No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't cover Hong Kong. I just wouldn't do it. Because I think that the payoff is not as great as it could be. And I think about what certain photographers have said, where they say, really, what did I get out of that? I made myself a living, but other than that, I didn't change the world. Very seldom does a photograph change the world. So, I mean, that's about it. Healthy, wealthy, and wise, and you don't have to be all that wealthy. You should be a little smart, you should be a little wealthy, and you should be a little healthy. You don't have to be, shredded and, be worth $50 million. You don't have to have that. You just have to have a fair amount of stability financially, and I'm getting there. We're getting there. I think pretty soon we will be. All in due time, it will happen. And, like, dude, it's been hot as balls here in Japan for the last month and a half. I spent most of it indoors. Just couldn't be fucked to go out and sweat and be uncomfortable, and I'm okay with that. Well, I'll tell you what. Aside from being here and being at the grocery store or maybe the market, I just don't really want to go that many places. And I'll be honest, sometimes, I thought today, I'll stream at home. I can stream at home. I mean, my office is small and it's okay. But when we move and we have a bit more space and things are a bit nicer, okay, I'm going to be like, all right, now I'm fine. I'm good to go. I'm okay. I don't need to go out all the time. I don't need to go to the mall all the time. Cambodia taught me sleeping in 80 degrees is okay. Yeah, I mean, I do that all the time. I only get pissy after 95. Happiness and being content, also important for me. I like your office streams, actually. Well, there's going to be a point when I'm going to do more and more of them. And, I thought to myself, at the end of this year, I'm just going to stop streaming. And, I may take more holidays. I may, take a week off, 2 weeks off, or something like that. But, I don't know, maybe I'll keep doing them and I'll just do, a certain amount every week. I don't know. But I can tell you now, I'm not as gung-ho to stop as before. And it's just to give myself something to do. Do stream every other day even. I mean, you know, I streamed yesterday, but that was just a real short one. Streaming today. I'm not going to stream tomorrow. I got something to do tomorrow. I'll probably stream Friday. And then, you know, I may stream Sunday. I don't know what UFC's on, but I don't think anything great. So I'll probably stream Sunday. And I don't know, you know, I like to take a couple days off. Bring your wife sometimes when she's home. Well, I do when I can. You know, it's all up to her. She's got her own things to do. You know, I mean, like, I think streaming would be hard work. It can be. Yeah, I mean, it can be, but it's not. You know, a lot of the time it's not. I mean, you know, but I'll tell you honestly, I look and I go, you know, do I really need to be here? And most of the time I'm like, no, I don't. But I think, do I want to? And sometimes I go, yeah, okay. Why not? But, you know, there will come a time when and hopefully I'll stop before I die, where I go, okay, that's it. I'm not doing any more. I'm done. No more. You know. I'm not going to stream on Saturday. I can tell you that right now. Because I'm going to stream on Friday. Probably on Sunday. Maybe on, I don't know, I may stream on Monday and then not stream until Friday. I don't know. I need a couple days off. So, anyway. Long stream today. I think what I want to eat. So anyway, in closing, don't be too sensitive. That'd be my advice for people. You want to come to Thailand? Don't be too sensitive. I'm feeling you, Scott, like I barely get any views and stuff these days. Donations have gone down a bit in the last couple months. I kind of want to step away, and I haven't done that in like 15 years. Yeah, I know what you mean, Sam. I know, you know, I mean, listen, there was a time when I used to make, you know, $1,000 on a stream sometimes, $500 on a stream sometimes. I never make that anymore. Look what I got here, $4. $4. Okay, great, fantastic, it's better than nothing, but it's not like it used to be. And it's not like it used to be, you know, 10, 12 years ago when I put up a video and it would get, you know, 500,000 views, 700,000 views, whatever it is. It's not the same, and YouTube has changed, people have changed. I didn't say that. And, you know, I've changed, to be honest. You know, money is always nice, but really, I don't really care, you know? I mean, like, I do care, but I don't, you know what I'm saying? Oh, really? Yeah, I don't know who he is. Oh, wait a minute, that's not what I was looking at. God damn it. You are much more chill now. That's because I just don't care about that much anymore. I care about my family and my, and I care about my family. I care about some of the things that I like to do that, I still do them. And other than that, I'm like, hey, you know what? Guess what? We're getting ready to buy a house. We'll have a nice house. We got food on the table. We got our health. So what else is there? I feel good, I mean, I like having a community and I like making stuff, but the obligation of having to put shit out all the time and involving with what YouTube and viewers want is tiring. Yes, it is. I know about that. I know it's tiring. And the thing is, you just have to go, I don't care. I'm going to do what I can. And once you start doing that, then all of a sudden you go, hey, this isn't that bad. Not many things on the stream. But I know I would get bored if I stopped. He had a 20-year-old show on New York radio at night. Some say he coined the term night people. I wouldn't mind, like having a full-on show, like 2-3 times a week. I would do it. I would do it. It wouldn't. Yeah, that's what I'd say. I would do it. And I'm kind of doing that now. $500 a day on live stream. Well, I mean, I have done that before. I know what it's like to make that kind of money. I don't make that now. Nowhere near that. Which, I'm like, okay, well, I guess that's okay. And good for them. That's what I say. I mean, good for them, because they should get it while they can, because it won't last forever. I mean, really. One day the little glimmer in their eye, might dwindle. I don't know. Maybe it'll last for 10 years, maybe 15. But one day they may not feel that thrilled to be there, and the people might kind of get tired of them and go, oh, she's old now. You don't know. You do a 2-hour show just on the top of your hand. If you saw the movie A Christmas Story, that's him. You have to take a look at him. Actually, Chucky, my buddy Chucky, used to be involved in radio. And he said to me, he talked to some people back in the U.S. on, iHeartRadio or something. And he said, he told the people about me, and he said he's not experienced. He doesn't really know exactly how things work, but he's pretty good, and I think he would work here. And the lady said, yeah, he does. He seems pretty good. Okay, maybe, if he wants to come over here, he can get started, and this might take him a year, and then he'd be on the air. And I was like, what am I going to do? Can't leave my family behind. All because, maybe I can do something, So I just do what I can. It's all right. Oh, this guy, Gene Shepard, was from Fort Myers, Florida, which is where my parents live. Interesting. Very interesting. Anyway, Man, she is pregnant. Wow. He's from Chicago, Illinois. Holy cow, he was married 4 times. Oh my goodness. Well, yeah, you do. I just saw that one, right? There's a girl at the gym who I didn't know she was pregnant up to about a month ago when she told me. She's kind of cute, and you know, she's I don't know, maybe 25 or something like that, and she's about 8 months pregnant now. And then here at Pacamara, this girl behind the counter, I thought it was her first kid. It was her second kid, and she's only like 23. She's got 2 kids. So no, he's not from, it says he was born in Chicago, Illinois. Oh, okay, not far from Chicago. I got it. Yeah, I mean, Aiden, I look at it like they're doing what they always do. And they were smart, and they just kind of basically monetized it and just showed people what they're doing. And I'll be honest, they're not like the hottest chicks, but they're good looking enough to where guys want to look at them. And they're smart enough, and they smile enough, and they've got personalities, so they're using everything that they have at their disposal. And it seems like it comes pretty easy for them, but you know, there is a fair amount of work that goes into it. And like I said, I think it's good for them. It's good, you know, good. Make that money, sock away the money. You know, keep doing it as long as you can. I listened to him for years with the radio turned low. He came on at 10 p.m. when the kids were supposed to be sleeping. That was Larry King for me. I used to listen to Larry King on WIOD 610 radio. That's where he was at the time. He was not on CNN. He was not doing TV. He was on radio. And I used to go to sleep listening to him. So, there you go. Anyway. And yes, I used to turn the volume down. I didn't want my mother to know that I was up, and you know, my mother and father, I didn't want them to know I was up. And I turned the radio on, and I would, you know, you could turn it on and it would go off in an hour or something. I knew I'd be asleep by then, so you know, it was good. You know, I used to like Howard Stern right in the beginning. And I actually called Howard Stern from Thailand about 15 or 20 years ago. And I got on. And I just said, you know, hi, my name is Scott. I'm calling you from Bangkok, Thailand. Oh, so you think you're such a big guy because you're in Bangkok, Thailand? I go, that's not what I said. I didn't think I don't think anything. I just happened to be here. And he just gave me such a hard time. I thought, man, you're a fucking asshole. I didn't even say anything. He's jumping all over me because I'm in Bangkok, Thailand. And I'm like, listen, you fucking prick. I wanted to tell him, you ain't that funny. You know. And, you know, in my head, I was thinking, I'm going to smack the shit out of him. If I ever see you, I'll smack you. That's the way I thought. I thought I used to like you. Now I want to smack the hell out of you. You know. But whatever, you know. And now I'm like, I don't care. You know, he's just to me, he's a bit of a jack-off. That's all he is. You know. I think his day is come and gone, honestly. I don't think he's what he used to be. And, you know, whatever. Good for him. He's moving on. He's doing his thing. Good for him. I salute. You know. So, it is what it is. And I honestly, I don't know if he really enjoys his life. I don't really know, to be honest. He might, but then again, he might not. And so, for me, I'm like, well, I don't want to concern myself with somebody else's life. I don't want to concern myself with Imus, with Stern. I don't want to think about any of these things. They don't matter. Hey, good for them. That's the way I look at it. Good for them. I could hate on him and I don't like this guy and I don't care. Good for them if they're successful. Good. That's all. Anyway, welcome to the first edition of the Expat Experience Live with Scott Mallon. This was show number 1, and Sunday will be show number 2. So please join me. Thank you very much. It's been a good stream today, fun, mellow, and hopefully Sunday will be the same. I don't know what we're going to talk about Sunday, but I really never know what I'm going to talk about. Usually it's a couple minutes before I go on, and that's when I start thinking about it. But okay, Jim, you take it easy, and I am Scott. I'm an American in Bangkok, and what I will say is, choke deal, jerk and my. That's good luck, and see you later. Good stream. Hasta la vista, baby. See you later. Hey, Dale, okay. See you later. See you later. Bye, you, Tom. See you later, everybody. All 40 of you out there. I appreciate you coming in. Smash the like button. Subscribe and all that good stuff. And I will talk to you later.